One of the most challenging skills is to deliver a keynote speech like a professional, not a performer. Public speaking requires a lot of skills to master. And if you're struggling to deliver a professional keynote speech, even though you prepared and you practice a lot, this episode is for you. Hi, I'm Lucy, and I'm here to help you master the art of public speaking. If you're struggling to deliver a professional keynote speech, even if you practice a lot, probably you're missing one of these most essential 8 pillars to master your keynote speech. Delivering a keynote speech like a TED Talk or like a most successful keynote speakers in the world is not always about what you share or even how you share it. It's about the entire process, how you prepare, how you deliver, and what is the message you convey at the end of your speech. So let's transform your keynote speech from an average speech to a professional keynote speech. Pillar number 1, practice but learn to improvise. There's a big debate between if you need to memorize your speech word by word or you need to depend on your bullet points that you wrote to deliver a professional keynote speech. Well, here's the catch. It should be in between. From my personal experience, being a keynote speaker for over a decade now and coaching a lot of CEOs, executives, and keynote speakers, the best way to deliver a professional speech like a professional speaker, not a performer, you need, and it's a must, to write down your speech word by word. Exactly what are you supposed to say? If you depend on your bullet points, you're going to elaborate a lot, you're going to speak for a long period of time, and your ideas are not going to be strictly to the point. However, memorizing your speech word by word is going to sound so robotic when you're going to deliver your speech. So what I recommend, I want you to learn how to improvise as well for 2 main reasons. One, I want you to put your personality and your character in your speech. I don't want you to sound so robotic and be so anxious if you're going to forget anything. And number 2, if you tend to deliver a high level keynote speech, if you are an executive, a CEO, and you tend to be on stages a lot, you know that most of the time you're going to have last minute changes and sometimes changes that are going to happen on the spot because of your audience. And this is the best way to improvise, to make sure you're having the engagement and the connection you want from your audience. So sometimes you feel like this idea is not going to do well with my audience, so let me change it into a very quick storytelling because they're going to be more connected and my story is going to be more relatable. Or probably for some reason you had technical issue, you need to improvise. You cannot just stop your speech and wait for what's happening behind you to be fixed. And for other reason as well, sometimes improvising is the best way for you to add this personal touch and make your speech memorable. Especially if you forget any sentence or phrase, don't just black out. Go with the flow. So it is very essential to memorize your materials to make sure that all what you're saying is concise, strictly to the point, and on time. But at the same time, I encourage you to add your own personality, your own touch, improvise when needed to make sure your speech is delivered like a professional speaker, not as a performer. Pillar number 2, leverage the 3 vocals. This is, without a doubt, the most important pillar to deliver a keynote speech like a professional, not a performer. And that will help you to speak and communicate like a professional leader and a CEO. It is a must to leverage your 3 vocals. Vocal number 1, your vocal tone. Vocal tone means how healthy is your voice, how powerful and strong is your voice. Does your voice have a friction? Does your voice sound weak? Does it sound shivering? Is your voice captivating enough? Then does it show authority? This is the vocal tone. The second vocal is your vocal variety. Vocal variety is the pace, the rhythm, the notes, the depth, the speed, slowing down, the pausing, all of that is the variety. To have a proper variety, you need to learn how to play with your voice. Don't make your voice monotonic. Don't depend on just speaking on your normal vocal variety that you speak every single day. Delivering a keynote speech requires more effort in your vocal variety. And the third vocal is your vocal energy. And this has a lot to do with your body language. How are you delivering your speech? What's the energy behind your voice? So the vocal energy is combining the vocal tone, vocal variety, and your body language all at once. Do you sound boring? Do you sound robotic? Do you sound monotonic? Does your speech feel energetic? This is your vocal energy. So you need to leverage the three vocals to deliver a professional keynote speech: your vocal tone, vocal variety, and your vocal energy. And keep in mind, if you're good at one, that doesn't mean you're good at the other. Which leads me to pillar number 3, intentional body language. The most common question I've been asked related to body language: what am I supposed to do with my hands? Should I just keep moving them left to right? And the simple answer is no. Do not move your arms on purpose. Use your body language intentionally. And this is where you elevate your vocal energy. You need to use your body language based on your speech. Don't make your body language so repetitive. It sounds like you're moving your hands on purpose because you don't know what you're going to do with your hands when you're speaking. What I recommend, you need to link your body language to the type of the speech, to your emotions, to your feelings, to your energy. Use them freely. Don't be too restricted. Link your body language to your speech and link your body language to your voice to have a proper vocal energy. Your body language stands in between. If you want a captivating speech, if you want to grab your audience's attention, to keep them engaged, your body language should complement what you're saying, and your body language should complement your voice. And if you're struggling with your voice to make your voice more energetic, focus on your body language. Immediately, your vocal energy is going to sound so much better. So focus on intentional body language. Don't use your body language on purpose. Pillar number 4. Edit until it's simple. One of the most forgotten pillars in public speaking starts before you deliver your speech. It's when you're preparing your speech. And you need to keep in mind that you need to keep editing your speech until your speech is very simple to understand, using a very simple English language. And when you make sure that there's no one single word, I'm not saying a sentence or phrase, one single word in your speech that doesn't make a sense and doesn't have a purpose. I have a keynote speech to deliver in 2 weeks. And so far, I've edited my speech 8 times. 8 times. And I still have to edit it 1 or 2 more times. And the reason why is because every time I practice my speech, I realize like, this word could be removed. This connective word is not essential. If I remove this phrase, my idea would be more specific. If you tend to find these filler words or filler phrases in your speech, you must remove them out of your speech to make it intentional, purposeful, strictly to the point, and easier for your audience to keep up with what you're saying and to make your message resonate on a deeper level without making your audience confused. Pillar number 5, know your audience. I remember clearly, early in 2019, I was competing in an impromptu speaking contest. And my speech was amazing. And honestly, me and my friends were expecting to win the first prize. And I have some people who came to me after I delivered my speech and told me, I loved your speech. It was so relatable. I was able to connect with you because of your story. However, I was an outsider in that contest. And I didn't win, not even from the top 3. And the reason why is simply because I didn't know my audience. Now, the topic that I chose was controversial. And I wasn't delivering that speech in my home country. And I didn't know at that time that this specific topic was kind of a taboo in their country because of their cultural norms and society traditions. So they look at me and I was like, what is she talking about? And the judges were from that country. So I did my biggest public speaking mistake. No matter how important your speech, no matter how powerful your story is, if you don't know your audience, you're gonna become the outsider of the event. Take it from my personal experience. Pillar number 6, study the room. I always study the room before I deliver my speech, before I start my workshop, before I start my conference, before I start my competition. It doesn't matter where I'm going to speak. I always study the room before. And I learned that later on in my career. And if I knew that early on in my public speaking journey, it would be so much easier for me to be in the zone as a speaker. I always arrive earlier than expected just so I can walk around the room, so I can feel the ambience, so I can feel grounded, so I can understand the space, the sound effect. Everything is exactly as it should be. And as well, before I arrive to that place, if I was delivering a workshop or a conference at a company, I ask them to send me a few pictures so I can put myself in the zone what to expect. And I arrive early, I walk around the room, and I make sure I own the place before I start speaking. This is a very powerful pillar that if you implement before you start delivering your speech, your confidence is going to be so much better. You're going to be so grounded. And in addition, you're going to be in control of your speech and of your surrounding and your space, of course, in a good way. Pillar number 7, make your story relatable. If you want to deliver a keynote speech like a professional, not a performer, especially if it's a storytelling, you need to keep in mind that your story should be relatable to your audience. Your story, it's just the link of the message you want to convey at the end of your speech. Even if you have a very powerful story, even if your experience is very valuable, you've learned a lot in your life, if you just focus on sharing that story without giving something from your story to your audience, your speech has gone to waste. It is very essential to keep in mind how my story can be relatable to my audience. What's the takeaway? What's the message? What's the purpose? Your conclusion after your storytelling should be all about your audience. And while you're sharing your story, keep in mind, keep it simple. A big mistake speakers tend to do, especially in delivering a storytelling speech, is that they believe all the details that they've experienced in their life is very essential to be part of the speech. And here's where one of the most important pillars to deliver a keynote speech like a professional is to edit your speech. Every sentence and phrase in your story should be a powerful message on its own. Keep in mind, your storytelling should be relatable to your audience. Pillar number 8. Don't perform, but communicate. Even if you're delivering a keynote speech on stage, you're still communicating with your audience. If you're just focusing on delivering a speech like a performer, memorize every single word, make sure I finish on time, make sure I show authority on the stage, but you forget all about how you want to communicate with your audience, you lose the connection that you need to get throughout your speech. Now, communication is not necessarily verbal, because usually in keynote speeches, we don't communicate directly with our audience. It depends on the topic, of course, but we're talking for delivering a professional keynote speech, 7-8 minute keynote speech. But you can communicate with your audience through eye contact, through your body language, through the simple language that you use, through your gesture and the way you represent yourself, just as if you're having this communication interaction with your audience. You're not just there to perform, you're there to connect. So when you shift that perspective from I need to deliver my speech as a performer to I need to deliver my speech to communicate with my audience and to connect with them on a personal and a deeper level, then it is guaranteed that your keynote speech is going to be absolutely amazing, and you will be able to deliver that speech like a professional speaker, not a performer. There's a difference between being invited to speak and being remembered for what you said. And in order to deliver a professional keynote speech, it's not only about mastering 1, 2, or 3 main pillars. It's not about sharing all the information that you know and memorize your speech word by word. It's about combining all these 8 pillars to ensure that your keynote speech is memorable and your audience can resonate to what you have to say. If you want to elevate your communication skills and learn how to communicate like a CEO, I really recommend to watch the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.